Next up, we're going to go to winners and losers, and we're going to start with Jason Stein in Madison. So Jason, who's your winner this week?
Well, I've just, fresh off the presses, we have the winner of, it looks like George Gorsuch is going to eventually be confirmed by the Senate and, receive a lifetime appointment on the Supreme Court. This was a big thing for Republicans because they have been fighting amongst each other. They have not really had a legislative victory in Congress. They obviously, their attempt to repeal Obamacare has so far given them nothing but grief. But they're moving forward here, and that sort of brings me. The winner brings me to the loser. Should I go ahead and give that?
Please.
Go for it.
Who's your loser? Losers.
My loser is the filibuster, and we can go ahead and associate the filibuster here with Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader. The Democrats invoked the filibuster today. Republicans used the so-called nuclear option and voted along party lines to shut that down and sort of end that practice. Democrats had shut down the filibuster on court nominees before. Republicans sort of elevated that by using it today against nominees, a nominee for the Supreme Court. And, we'll see what effect that has on the Senate's comity and, overall operations, in the years to come.
Thank you. What about you, Bill? Who's your winner?
Local woman, Christy Yang, the first female Hmong judge in the nation. She was elected to the Milwaukee County Circuit Court. And for progressives and or Democrats, I realize it's a nonpartisan race, but it has to be a breath of fresh air, an actual young, new face on the scene. And, she ran a very effective campaign against a veteran and won that race. Loser, Devin Nunes, the House Intelligence Chairman. He's stepping aside from leading the investigation into Russia's efforts to disrupt the 2016 presidential election. People were mentioning him like Get Smart or Inspector Clouseau, which are, the sort of bumbling idiots of the 1960s film and television. And we sort of need to update it, and maybe Devin Nunes can get his own show. He really was a bumbling investigator and really did just, made a hash of it,
Wasn't he saying like a week ago that he wasn't going to step down, and then he kind of vanished for a while?
Yeah, and then he blamed left-wing groups for bringing charges against him in front of the House Ethics Committee, and the House Ethics Committee is looking at them, so he's out. They'll get a couple of new guys in, but I think most attention is going to turn to the Senate Intelligence Committee and their investigation.
Do you think it's the last we've heard of him?
No. I'm sure there's, this investigation is going to go on for months, if not years. So I think we're going to hear from him again.
He's very eager to be a surrogate for the Trump team, too. So I wouldn't be surprised if he moves from this position where he's supposed to be an impartial investigator to where he becomes much more of a partial advocate for the Trump team as things go forward.
And I don't know if I would want to be advocating for Trump on this issue. I think it's a very dicey proposition.
He supported him early.
This is very serious.
He was
stuff.
on his transition team, too. So you have to remember that. So
maybe he can join the administration.
So my
what about your
winner?
winner?
I try to stay local most of the time, but this time I'm choosing Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster. They just shuffled the National Security Council, and Steve Bannon, the person everybody who knew it was on there, has been bounced from it, and this has put McMaster into a position of control on this important committee. And then my loser, we've already talked about it a little bit, it's the Milwaukee business community, which came out and you were there in force to try to tell the legislature, we need you to get the zoo interchange and
East-West
right. done. And before everything was done, you've got Robin Voss saying, I think we need to focus on what's going on in Racine. So he's the loser. I also just posted a story on, I guess you would have to say a winner and a loser. The county auditor's trying to investigate the sheriff's office for its handling of this incident with a guy at the airport earlier this year. And the sheriff had stonewalled him and wouldn't let him interview anyone on the staff. And the county board now has agreed to let him the auditor spend $35,000 to take the sheriff to court to force the investigation to go ahead. So I guess you've got the auditor as a winner and the sheriff as a loser right now on that investigation.
And the county board will vote on that soon?
The 20th.
Okay.